Hello and welcome for the 6th episode of the Rockets Way podcast. And yes, this podcast now has a name. Now we are set to objective proposed since the beginning, which is arriving to episode 10. And we are almost there, halfway through. So let's do this. And today's episode is concerning the mentality of all or nothing, the thing that happens on our every day, which is not acceptable to have something in between. It's like, or you achieve the peak, or simply doesn't matter if you achieve anything. And this subject happened to me when I was talking with a person in a tracking that I did several weeks ago, and she was telling me that she hurt herself on the gym. Basically, the situation was she was performing an exercise, and basically the coach or the trainer, whatever the person that works in a gym is called, asked her to put more weight. And she said, I'm good with it. I'm good with my current weight. And the coach or the trainer insisted. So she said as suggested. So she puts more weight against her best knowledge, or against her feeling, or the sensitivity that she got from the body, that she should not put more weight in. And of course, you don't need a crystal ball to understand that the story ends with her hurting herself in a way that she stopped for several months doing that. Any kind of sports, whatever. Okay, so this is the all or nothing mentality that happens on this particular case on the gym. And you can say why this is a all or nothing mentality. If we go back to yoga, okay, when you perform yoga, one of the teachings that happens on yoga is the ahimsa, the non-violence against each other or against ourselves. And one of the things that is related to non-violence is when you are practicing yoga, you need to be aware of the body. Okay, if you are performing an exercise or a pose, if the body is complaining, you should simply back off. The main purpose is not to injure yourself. This is the main objective of when we address ahimsa in yoga, is to make sure, as hard as the pose may be, you should not hurt yourself. So, and even it's said that the moments that you hurt yourself on yoga is where you let the ego in a sense that you pushed further than the limits of your body. And the mentality that happens mostly on gyms is actually the mentality of push everything you got and whatever. For example, when you are on a bicycle and you have the teacher screaming at you or screaming to the class, say, give more, or push harder, continue, push harder. And this is quite dangerous, and also happens in some gym where on the classes that you need to do some weightlifting, and you need to really be aware how is your body handling the weightlifting part. If, for example, your knees are okay, if your lower back is okay in terms of are these loads sustainable to be lifted. And sometimes when you have a coach to say you need to put more weight on it, even though on the outside it seems that you're lifting easy the stuff, but in the end of the day, you are the one that needs to be aware the limits of your body. And if you feel that your body can sustain more weight, so go forward. Here the main concern is that some mentality of this trying to push further and harder can, in the end of the day, can result in an injury. And the injury is dangerous in a sense that it can be something that can be cured in 1 day or two, but it can put you months behind. Okay, an injury on sports is dangerous, especially when you are getting old, in the sense that the years are passing by and your body doesn't have 20-year-olds anymore that can recover in 1 day or two. So it's perfectly okay that when you are performing any type of sport, one day you feel that you can handle the stress of the exercise and you actually can enjoy the exercise even though you're not at your peak. But if your body is saying, okay, I can do more, you need to be aware of it. But and it's also important the opposite. If you feel that your body is not responding the way you do, you just need to respect the body. So, and I don't know your age, probably you are the 10 people that are listening to this podcast are adults, but in case you are not an adult, I should be doing this in supervision, with the supervision. But if you are an adult, you are more than able to say no, okay? If you are trying to do something that your body is not allowing, you are invited to say no. And it's okay. It's preferable that you can say no and continue doing the exercises on another day than hurt yourself and you are stopped for months. So this is the all or nothing mentality on sports. It's like push harder, push further until almost it breaks. Okay, so this is quite dangerous. So you need to be aware of it. Of course, there are people can say, yeah, but you need to learn the techniques. You need to be aware of how you do things. This is entirely true. But the problem is that there is one person that has a body that knows best what the person can handle or cannot handle. If the person is suggested to put more weight or less weight, well, less weight is abnormal. So if a coach tells you that you need to put less weight, you are doing something terribly wrong. But if you are putting more weight and you feel that your body is not responding the way the way that it is supposed to, or you're feeling something in your body that is not normal, just stop. Okay, it's preferable that you can continue with a manageable load and actually injure yourself and stop for several months. And this is one of the difference between yoga and gym sports. Is on yoga is pretty aware that you have one body and you are the ultimate decider of how much time you stay on a given pose, or if you want to back off early, or if the body on a certain pose, the body doesn't comply to that and you just need to accept it. And another thing about yoga compared to another gym sport is the practice is inwards, in a sense that you are not supposed to see others practicing yoga, because the practice is yours. You should be looking to yourself, how you are posing, how are the body is feeling. You are not supposed to look on others. And the gym is quite the opposite. The ego is everywhere. If you are performing an activity, people are looking at you, and even people that are even not certified to give advices, they are giving them freely, okay, for some reason, okay? It's the way that people bond on the gym. They say, you are performing this and that, you should do this and whatever, okay? And, okay, you understand it's based on the environment, but it's actually a thing that yoga benefits a lot, which is the practice is inwards, and you have a certified person typically in front of you that should correct you or prevent you from harm. And on gym is everyone is looking at you, even to correct you or just to admire you, let's say, okay, admire or saying that you are performing well, in a sense. And this is one of the main differences between yoga and gym. But this is only an example of the all or nothing mentality. Another all or nothing mentality that is happening is on the dating scene, let's say, is where you go out with a person and that person needs everything perfect on the first and second and third date. And even though the friendship can born from that match or that situation that happened that made you going on a date. And it seems that nowadays people want to fall in love almost immediately, and the relationship can only exist if the conditions are perfect from first to whatever date. Okay, typically between the first, second, and third, it seems there is a deadline on the third date, I was told. And if you are indeed trying to find the person, or you are on this game, this all or nothing mentality is quite dangerous, because it keeps you away of very good results. Because on a normal world, on normal social interactions, nobody falls in love in 2 or 3 whatever dates. Okay, it's not saying impossible, but it's not typical. So if you are looking for the perfect whatever environment, this is not feasible. So this all or nothing mentality is today is not practical to obtain sustainable long life results. Maybe the lesson from this episode is if something goes wrong, terribly wrong, this is nothing that you gain of it. There is no nothing, let's say. In that sense, if you are trying to obtain a certain objective, or is on sports, or is on a gym, or is on your dating life, or is on your work, whatever, if you do not achieve the objective that you want to, you learn doing the process or doing the execution of that objective. So there is no nothing. There is a learning curve, and if you continue learning, you are richer. More and more things pass by. And for example, on sports, it's preferable to have 1 day a week, or maybe 2 weeks, that you don't push as hard to yourself. You respect your body, but once your body is fully recovered, you can gain the lost time easily, because an injury is a huge setback. And that's why yoga is so important. On this aspect, you can perform the yoga mentality even on a gym, which is listen to your body. Listen what are the limits or the limitations on that specific moment, and if your body allows, so go forward, but don't let your ego destroy your body or injure your body. This is highly important. So, and that's it for episode 6. I hope that you enjoy. It was not a very big episode, so I hope that you take good lesson from here. I hope this can at least not change your way of thinking, but at least challenge a bit how you perceive the things in case you disagree. So just leave a comment, okay? So have fun.